Up next, as we continue our 8 films to die for dive here, it's Re-Kill, a movie that borrows quite a bit from maybe Starship Troopers if you think about it. It's kind of weird how they do this. It's kind of like it's not an anthology film, but it's got kind of a wraparound, and it's not as much zombie as it's infected. I know you can have that debate till the cows come home whether or not something's a zombie or it's infected. But the way things is, it starts off with this girl looking for a mom. So she sits down, she turns on television. So for the most part of the remainder of the movie, we're watching a TV show called Re-Kill on the television, complete with RoboCop-ish, Starship Trooper-ish type commercials in between. And it's weird though because it's kind of like coming at a point when there was like a lot of found footage movies, and it's kind of found footage. Like I said, it's presented like a TV show. You got a couple camera guys, and they're following around like this military police style unit as they're killing infected slash zombies. Um, Sometimes there's some awkward cuts. I think sometimes there's like little pieces of the movie where they maybe kind of stray away from the found footage thing and just kind of give you a straight shot. But the problem is, and this is one of the worst things about this movie, is there's just so much shaky cam that sometimes you can't tell what you're looking at really. And I know people complain about shaky cam. Some people complain that the found footage thing kind of gets hard to see at times, but this one is just the worst of both. It's some the camera's just shaking everywhere, rapid cuts, and there's times that you just can't really tell what's going on or who has been bitten or shot or what until a little bit later on. So that one really brings this one down. And it was probably coming at a time when the whole zombie thing was in overkill, which is overkill now for sure. But during this time period, it was just an onslaught of it. And it doesn't really stand out to me in a good way. It more or less seems like it's kind of knocking, or not knocking, but ripping a little bit too much on Starship Troopers in some regard, just with zombies instead of killer insects. So I'm not really a fan of Re-Kill. It's got an okay cast. Some of the characters are somewhat memorable. Some of the gore is great, but you don't really get to see it much because, like I said, the camera's doing a big shaky thing throughout the whole deal. So that really brings it down. So that being said, I'm going with a 2 out of 5 for Re-Kill, which right now, where I'm standing on this, is the worst of these films. Which keep in mind, I'm about halfway through them, so it could get worse or it could get better. But Re-Kill, directed by Valeri Milev and Mike Hurst, is not something you want to rush out and see. But if you can see it for on Tubi or something, then maybe go ahead. Or if you just want to collect all these movies, go ahead. But like I said, these DVDs are pretty plain Jane, burn on demand. But I love the Film Die For series in general, so I had to check it out. And this was, as far as I know, the last year of it. And this one is kind of a miss. So like I said, 2 out of 5. Uh, Maybe if you just love zombie movies or something, check it out. But outside of that, there's really no reason to watch this one.